Hello everyone and welcome back to the second episode of Timber in Stone. You'll notice some things are a little different this time compared to last episode. So off camera, I went ahead and did some quality of life things that really wouldn't be interesting to record. I finished kind of laying out our road system. It's not quite there yet. There are some things that I'm going to have to do to try and repair some of it. It's not really working functionally. It's day 4 in the morning. It's been a couple days just gathering wood, processing that into planks so that we can start building this episode. In fact, I have a little bit of foundation started, and hopefully we get to explain to you guys how building works. It is a little weird in Timber and Stone, but you can get used to it. So look forward to that a little bit. I expanded the farm. We now have more, I believe this is potatoes. If you hold Q, it tells you what block you're looking at. So these are potatoes, that's our corn. We have pumpkin here, and then I think turnip here at this point. We also, keeping everyone kind of relatively close to the wagon at the moment, just so, you know, in case anything happens, which something will be happening here at the beginning of the episode. We are actually technically under attack. That's why the game is paused. I was going to try and build up a little bit more and gather a little bit more resources off camera, but the first bit of combat, always kind of interesting to see how this plays out. It's generally wolves, which are over here. He's hiding behind the little bush. This nice little wolf guy is coming over to attack our left flank. Don't know why he didn't kill the sheep, though. He literally just walked by the sheep and just like, I'll eat humans today. Okay, that's fine. Down here to the south of our little camp, I am building a foundation for our first building. And I'll explain that as soon as we get and deal with these wolves. So what I want to do is basically kind of recall everyone into the same area. Now, what that's going to do is group everyone up, and everyone will then be able to hopefully defend from this wolf that's coming into our territory. I don't know how many wolves there's going to be. There could be multiple, and that could be a problem. Our forager's out here as well, so just for the time being, I'm going to tell him to come back, and he might arrive late, but you know, it's better late than never. So, first wolf coming into the area now. He's kind of keeping his distance. 2 people have now noticed that he is there. Now, 1 wolf versus 2 people with clubs, probably not much to worry about. In fact, it's kind of running away. It is oh my goodness! Ursula, wow! 36 damage on the first swing? I don't know if that's a glitch, because 36 damage is like something you would see kind of at the end. It might have been a crit, or maybe clubs just do that much damage to wolves. I don't know. Maybe the game got updated? I'm at a loss for words. Or maybe it was already weak? Okay, no, I can't even figure that one out. That is a little crazy to think about. So, what you'll notice is, 1, this thing is dead. We'll go ahead and gather resources from it, which our forager will do once he's back kind of close to this vicinity. Get us some leather and additional materials. Our builder here, I believe Letitia Chevelin, is building our first structure. In fact, you can see what we all have laid out here for the time being. It is going to be a warehouse along the ocean's edge. Of course, we're building a fishing village kind of initially. Don't know where it's going to go from there, but we need a warehouse, 1, so that we have a nice safe space for all of our resources from prying hands, and also a building to kind of fall back to as another central kind of gathering point to keep people safe and hopefully funnel people inside rather than allowing a big rush coming in at once. I hope we gain some villagers this episode, because I'm kind of at the limit of our population. There's not much to do. I could technically make the infantrymen something else for a little bit and just switch them over from time to time. So maybe I'll make you a wood chopper for a little while. And you might have to do this at the beginning of the game, try and bounce people into multiple roles just so that you're able to keep up with demand of things. But it is not something I enjoy doing in the long term. So eventually everyone will have a set role. That's kind of what they'll be for the rest of the game. And as we gain more citizens, our army will increase, because what you want to do early on is probably worry a little bit more about maintaining a good spread of workers. So the boater is off over here designing the base kind of foundation for this structure. I've chose kind of this cobblestone gray foundation exterior, and that's going to be 2 blocks tall just to make that look very solid and weighty at the bottom. A simple timber tiled kind of flooring there. It does, and I do plan on having 2 separate rooms and kind of this central access corridor going through there. Also, we're going to be working on the docks, which in fact I need to build some more timber planks here so that we can get a nice wooden platform going along the edge of this building. We will eventually make little piers coming off of it, and then maybe near the end, because it's not really a building I see as super important, we might build a few boats. We have built boats before in a dry dock, and they do look relatively nice and decorative. So that's something to kind of look forward to. Right now, we're using kind of a lot of materials here, and that's not going to bode great for us, but hopefully it will get better as we continue on. The foresters here are kind of going far away from base, because what I've noticed is there's a lot of trees kind of interfering and shrubbery with our road system itself, and I want to clear these out to try and patch it up a little bit. I had a merchant come in. Oh, there's numbers over here in the wilderness. I think there might be some hostiles. Now, what this could be is goblins. Goblins, what they'll do is they'll actually kind of stay in an area and kind of patrol around. There'll also be a few raiding parties at times that'll come. So we have to worry about that. And, you know, our woodchoppers being so far away from the base, you just have to be mindful of their inventory. Make sure they don't walk too slowly. If you guys are playing an older version of Temper in Stone, you'll notice that there actually isn't this view range. The whole map would be visible for you, and it's a little bit of a challenge going forward here in the latest version, just because it became much harder to defend your town because you can't see everything. Having a good spread of vision, you know, is really great. In fact, some people have better vision than others. I believe if Walter here, he has the trait good vision. And I am getting your guys' name suggestions, so we will be kind of incorporating names here shortly. Normally, I would be building a smaller structure to start instead of this giant warehouse here. And some of you might not like that I'm kind of rushing a large structure right off, but I think that's going to be better to plan around. I want a little bit more central planning on this episode rather than, well, not this episode, this series, rather than kind of starting really small and growing really big. So I want to maybe start big and just maintain that quality throughout. And that's why we're starting with a little bit of a larger structure. Now, I plan on it having maybe a 2-story barn here, and then a 1-story kind of access shed to the side, possibly a crane on top, as this would be like the harbor warehouse kind of area. Very similar to what we did possibly in Stone Hearth on the last season of that. You know, it's a very common thing to see, kind of where they accept goods into the town. Granted, we don't have a town yet, but I think this is the start right here. We had the miner off, kind of just clear cutting some small rock outcrops. I don't quite know still where I want to put the mine. I could make a traditional, just a mine, almost like a quarry-like element, or maybe try and fit one into that little hillside. Normally I just make a little wooden shack that goes into a hillside, but I think this playthrough will probably make something maybe a little bit more proper looking in the long run. You'll notice in the blueprint I did leave a 3-wide gap. The 3-wide gap, of course, being for the doors that are going to be along this structure. You notice the final little shed actually has an extra entryway. I don't know why I did that. I think that's just... I don't know. We'll figure it out. It's not done yet. It's not done. It's going to take a whole lot of time. In fact, time is short. So we might as well upgrade our storage capacity here. You can upgrade some storage units. For example, the masonry stockpile you can upgrade for 35 kind of raw stone, which we have plenty of raw stone right now. I'm not necessarily worried about our stone supply drying up just yet. Ooh, a little sheep coming into town. Really going to need a new citizen here soon. Now, I'm going to be skipping over night because night really not much is happening. I can't even really see much. There's a goblin that's been spotted. So our forager, is he in the corner of that? No, he's not. But he's not in a good spot. I can tell you that. Goblins can be pretty tough. He's severely wounded though. So maybe our forager by himself can take care of it. He should be carrying a club. No? He is just carrying that short bow. We'll tell you what, let's get rid of your bow and we'll replace that with a club. Just so you can defend yourself, I think, a little bit better. It doesn't look like the goblin wants to mess with us, so I think that's fine. I think we're good. We're going to go ahead and skip through dusk and everything, just so I can make some progress off camera again. You know, that fight initially, a little lackluster and anticlimactic, but we did kill a wolf, so progress. Alright, now welcome to the early morning of day 5. So, the nighttime went pretty well. I did change a little bit. So we changed one of our foragers into a farmer. Now the farmers, I needed 2 because I don't think the one was able to keep up with all the crops that we had. And that's kind of normal. They're very low level right now. They're not producing the speed that they need to actually keep up with the crops growing. And having 2 is going to help with that. But also, you need to prioritize food a little bit early on, just simply because food kind of triggers when you get settlers coming to your village. So if you have a high supply of food, generally you're going to get a lot of villagers a lot quicker. And that is something that, you know, I didn't know starting out originally in the first season. It's something to take note of at this point, though, that food is going to be a bit of an issue. Now, over the night, our little builder here has constructed that foundation for our first building. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys kind of how the building mechanics work a little bit. And it's up to you guys if you want to, you know, maybe critique my buildings, of course, as you have the right to do so. But let's go ahead and build up some of the walls. The roof kind of is the last thing you do, just simply mainly because of how the building mechanics work. It would be really hard to actually build a roof before anything else is completed. So what you want to do is I'm going to go with a simple block here. Now, you can see the castle bricks and everything. We don't have bricks. We could make bricks. You know, we kind of have a decent supply of stone. But what I want to do is probably start with a full timber structure. It's very basic. All it does per block takes 2 processed wood. You can also do timbered plaster. We don't have any plaster yet or anything like that. So there's some umber brick, some great stone, plastered brick, you know, and all these things have a different look to it. Wooden logs even. So what I want to do is establish kind of the corner pillars. Now logs, probably a good choice for this. I'm going to make it into the columned version here. And I'm just going to left click once. That's going to bring up our little grid. Up and down arrow will dictate if the grid is going up or down. If I hold Alt, left Alt specifically, it will make it a box. So you can do walls very quickly by doing this. If I hold Control, it's going to do battlements. So you're going to get every other block built kind of thing. You can't go up and down with this. This is it's just for battlements mainly only. Holding shift will do straight lines. So those are the simple hotkeys for building here. So let's go up probably 4 because we have that extra block as the foundation already. I don't think anything taller than that is necessarily needed at this point. And what I like to do is bring up the corners of my buildings with some sort of main support column. In fact, I think this will leave 3 because I want it to be a little shorter just for a height break there. And the highest your people can reach is actually only 3 blocks high. And you don't really want to build more than that at a time. So building takes a little bit of pre-planning on what you want to actually get done. So beyond that, we're going to do full timber kind of walls here. So let's do that. Now I'm gonna only go up 2, and that'll allow the person to at least reach all these walls initially. There we go. Hopefully the miner still keeps up with our stone demand as we go through this. I kind of forgot to do the up arrow trick here, so you can just go back over it. It's really quick to kind of build up these little layers, but the main time consumption thing is the builder actually building everything kind of 1 block at a time. And what you can do also, in fact, I'm going to pause the game because I'm going to need to. What I do is first establish kind of the base wall. Now, the height for windows, generally about the second block, so you can see that's going to align with the person's head. And there's a couple of window types. Of course, you can do a vertical window. You can do a horizontal window. If I hold Alt Shift, you can kind of see what I'm doing a little bit better because it's going to try and remove these building blocks that I'm laying out here. So we're going to do horizontal on the first floor. Now what that's going to do is prevent things from crawling into our windows and getting into the structure without us wanting it to. There are spiders in the game that can climb through a 1x1 block. Not much you can do about them, but they can be killed really easily, and they're not much of a concern, to be honest. So we'll do that just kind of along here. Now, because this has some extra room, I could technically do 2 tall windows there, but I think for now, just a simple look for simplistic sake is just going to be better for us. And I think I'll leave the middle kind of wide here. In fact, we're going to need a staircase going up eventually. So I'm going to knock out one of these windows just to allow room for a staircase to go up to the second level once we get there. And that's basically how you build structures. You're going to be building them floor at a time and slowly upon each other. You can't save these as blueprints or anything. There's no real quick way to lay these out. So if I press play again, she won't build one of those areas, and we don't have to worry about knocking those walls down to try and clear the objects. What you can also do at this point is go ahead and build just some timber doors around. Now early on, it might not be a great idea to do timber doors in spots, but I like to I need to flip this around. The door's not going the way that I want it to. Timber door, press space, and there we go. I'm going to leave that just as an open archway. I think that would look pretty cool. And our carpenter places these down. Anything that you want to build actually says what job does it. So this is the symbol for carpenter. It has to be a level 5 carpenter. It takes 2 copper and 6 planks. So I think, wow, it's already so late in the episode. It looks like we're going to be finishing this building on the next one here, which is fine. I'm fine with taking this series a little slow, and it is a slow grind of a game, but I think that's good in its own sense. And I'm liking the wooden columns. I think they'll look well. So if you guys enjoyed Timber and Stone, make sure to leave a like. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. I am still, of course, taking name suggestions for the citizens. It's kind of a first come first served basis. If you don't get the job that you want, I'm sorry, but you know, that's just sadly the way it goes sometimes. If you guys want a specific building, a specific style, something, let me know that as well. Go ahead and check out my other videos for some more creative goodness such as this, and I'll see you all next time.